find have not heard about it. And today we're going to talk about the potential benefits for Parkinson's specifically, and dystonia. I didn't put dystonia on there, but we have that type of thing too. Maybe I could just see a show of hands of people that have actually heard of VibroAcoustic therapy. Cindy, okay. Good, because we did talk about that. That was a test. You passed. Okay. So the goals for this conference today, hopefully when we're done you'll have a good understanding of what vibroacoustic is. It's not rocket science, but it is very, very effective. You're going to learn about the benefits. As you can see here, it's been shown to reduce tremors and shaking, pain management. Sorry. Thank you. Improved balance, relaxes rigid and stiff muscles. There's a study that came out just recently, and we'll see more of that in a few minutes, in 2012, that showed that every symptom that a Parkinson's person has can be helped with this therapy. And I am going to need a volunteer to get on the table. And hopefully we'll have some fun because, you know, life is short. Why not? Let's have some fun. And then we'll get feedback after questions and answers and things like that. And so there are some things we need to go over first before we get started and before we bring up a volunteer, and that's contraindications. There are some contraindications. If you've had a recent blood clot, thrombosis, you don't want to get on the table because this isn't, I'll get into this more, but you know, there are equipment out there called shakers. There are machines out there that just do a mechanical vibration. That's not what this is, although it is a form of that. So really, the harder you're being shaken around, the less you want to be near it because of a blood clot. But we take the precaution that if you've had a recent blood clot, then we don't want to get on the table. I had a blood clot, I don't know, it's been a while now, 7, 8 years ago, and it almost killed me, but I use this almost daily now and I don't have any ill effects. So if you've had recent whiplash, as my wife was explaining to me, one of the reasons is sometimes there is internal bleeding that they don't know about. They sometimes don't find that. And anything bleeding externally or internally can be exacerbated by the vibrations that are going on in the machine. Okay, so we don't want to do it if you have that condition. Is anybody here pre or psychotic? Raise your hands. Excellent. Frank, we got some good out there. You know, they say it's 90% of the cure is admitting you have the problem. So that's good. Very good. Okay. If you have low blood pressure, if it's already low, because this relaxes you, no matter what else it's going to do for you, it will relax you. It doesn't matter what program we use on here, you're going to relax. So people with very low blood pressure, that could be an issue. If it's already very low, we don't want to get on the table. We need to confer with your doctor and make sure that that was safe to do. And then lastly, if you have a pacemaker, there are magnets on here because it's transducer technology. You know, I don't know. This is what they suggest. So I'm going to say we're not going to do it with pacemakers until we get more information, more research, and find out if it really is an issue. These are really the state-of-the-art transducers, the smoothest, the quietest. They hardly generate any heat at all, if any. I've run these things at shows. I've run this table 6 hours and it doesn't get hot. But the older version of transducers that many companies use still today are steel, and they generate a lot of heat, and I could see where the magnetic field might be stronger on those than this one, but we're going to go with what it said up there. Okay, so now that you kind of have a little basic idea, I'd like somebody to volunteer to come up here and get on. Come on up. So we'll get our volunteer up here. She's going to lay down up here. She's going to get going. And the whole point of this, and I'll talk more about this in a while, is, you know, you can go online and you can find all kinds of research information. But to me, what matters is, it's like that old saying, the proof's in the pudding. I want people to experience this, find out for yourself. Does it work for me? Because it really doesn't matter what it does for somebody else. That's my opinion. What is key is what works for me. So, in other words, for you.
One question.
Yes.
As far as the contraindications, are implants a problem, like metal implants?
No, not at all. No. So this is Shirley, and she's graciously volunteered to be my guinea pig. Oh, well.
Walt graciously.
Okay. Volunteered her. And I have a bolster that we can put under your knees. Would you like that? Okay. So let's get that started now. Okay, there you go. Now, hopefully you'll be relatively comfortable. And we'll put this on. Actually, the whole thing. This is actually the secret, but I'm not really supposed to tell you that, because then you just run out and buy them at JCPenney's or wherever instead of getting them from me. But, okay, so we'll put that there. And it's like getting a massage or something like that, in that, you know, you might be warm when you get on the table, but the longer you lay there, the cooler you can get. So are you comfortable right now, Shirley? Okay. What I'm also going to do, now this isn't part of the table, and I'm going to get into this in a little more detail in a few minutes, but this is technology that I add to the session because it enhances the whole experience for you, and I'll get into it in a minute. For now, Shirley's just going to have to trust me. Okay, so I'm going to put this at your right side, right? Okay. Let's see if I can do this without poking out your eye or anything like that. I don't have programs to replace eyes, but okay. Does that feel comfortable? Now, you're going to hear music, or actually what it's going to be, it's going to sound like water. So let me know if you can hear that. Okay. Doesn't have to be loud because your ears are picking it up. Okay, got that? And these are noise canceling headphones. It does help because the vibration, it's not overly loud, but I like to use the noise canceling because it does help take some of that out of the picture when you're doing your thing. Okay, so now, what we're going to do here, now here's something else that I think is very important. I think even if you're just going to get a massage, you're taking some time off for you, I think it's very important to set an intent. And what I mean by that is, this is for you. So, ideally, before you got on this table, you would sit down and talk to yourself and say, what is it that I would like to experience? What do I need? I mean, it could be something as simple as I'm in a relationship with somebody, or it's a coworker and I don't know what to do about the situation. I'm open to getting the answer to resolving this situation. Maybe for Shirley, you might have something like, can you hear me okay? Sort of? She can't hear me. Duh. I'll take those off. I think you were going out. Okay, so in your mind, I would like you to set an intention for this session. And I don't want you to tell anybody what it is. So in your mind, this is between you and whatever you believe in as a higher power, however you want to look at that. Just look at this as an opportunity to experience something different. So, I mean, you can have this intention. So what I mean by this is you close your eyes, take a deep breath, And I would just say to myself in my mind, okay, my intent for this session today is, and then whatever it is, okay? So that's what I'd like you to do. I personally, in my 30 years of experience with energy and massage and healing and things like that, is the intentions are very powerful, very powerful. Okay, so the music's going. You take your deep breath, just go off, and we're going to start. The other thing we're going to do is feel that? How does that feel? Is it too strong? Okay. Oh, yes. Screwed that up. There you go. Okay. So now just take your deep breath and just let yourself go. The other thing about this technology is it's less is more. We control the vibrations that are felt by the client or the patient through the volume, but it doesn't have to be loud. As long as you can feel it, because we're almost all water, and you know how water is, vibrates when you put something up next to it, like a speaker. That's basically what's going on here. Okay, so while she's percolating away, we're going to talk about what vibroacoustic means. If you look it up in a dictionary, you won't even find it. So what you have to do is you have to break it down. Vibro, vibrate, acoustic, sound. So basically what it means to me is we're using sound to create vibrations that you can feel at the cellular level. And again, it's because your body's mostly water, and so that allows the vibrations to come in. The truth is your body's mostly space, but I probably don't want to get into that if you get down to the atoms and things like that. But so let's back up, Lynn, and just talk about water, okay? Because we can think about that. Liquid, water, all the cells, okay? That's why they are very susceptible to these vibrations. And then what is a sound table? Well, a sound table is this thing here. It could be a sound table, it could be a sound chair, it could be a sound mat. They make mats with the transducers in them or speakers that you can put on top of a table. So what it does is through transducer technology, it takes the frequencies that are being played from that computer and converts them into vibration. This particular table has state-of-the-art transducers. They cost about $350 each. There's 3 of them on here. They are truly state-of-the-art transducers. They're very accurate in transferring music and frequencies into a very accurate representation vibrationally. It's very potent. Okay. I guess I covered that already. It's like getting a cellular massage. Absolutely, is what it is. It'll massage every cell in your body. And it is massage therapy. Okay, just a brief little history here. The first person that I guess they know of that correlated vibration with Parkinson's relief was this guy, French guy, in the 1800s, when his patients came to him and told him that after a long train ride or a carriage ride, because back in those days, those things bounced you around pretty good, their symptoms were relieved, depending on how long they were on the train or the carriage, and maybe at what state they were at in their disease, they would experience relief. So what this guy did in the 1800s was he thought, well, shoot, I can help these people. He built a chair that he made vibrate somehow. And so his patients would come to him, and instead of taking a train ride, they'd just get in the chair for a while. So that's where it started. I'm not saying anything detrimental about that. I'm just saying that was a crude form of where we're at today, okay? Back in the 70s, early 80s, this guy, Olav Skill from Finland, started researching, and he's actually considered the founding father of VibroAcoustic Therapy. He was a musician, he was a music therapist, and then he found out about the possibility of taking music and playing it into your body, because normally when we listen to music, we hear it through our ears. If it's loud enough, and you may find people in a car that are being, they've got their bass turned up, you can feel that in your body. That's what we're doing here. But he found that you could take those frequencies, those sounds, and convert them into something that you can feel at the cellular level. So we all know that music therapy works. You guys are all aware of that. I'm sure you've probably gone to the music therapy things. They absolutely do work. Now with VibroAcoustic Therapy, we're taking the music that works and we can play it into the table as long as it has deep bass tones in it, because it's the lower frequencies that we need in order to really bring about the changes that we want in these disease conditions. Our body seems to respond best to lower frequencies, about anywhere from something greater than 0 to about 120 hertz. But it does react to other frequencies also. So these are just some examples of some studies that have done. They found that Holistic Nursing Practice 2004 improves pain management, and that's not just for Parkinson's, that's for many, many, many things. Also, there's a significant decrease in blood pressure, pulse rate, muscle oscillation frequency. And what that translates into is a healthier you. And then, of course, this one specifically for Parkinson's in 2012 showed improvements of all symptoms, including less rigidity, better walking speed, and bigger steps and less tremors. So yeah, some of the questions might be later, well, how do you get your frequencies? Well, they're based on research. And as I was telling Walter, that it probably was a lot of trial and error in the beginning, especially with Olaf when he was doing this 30 years ago. They didn't know specifically what frequencies would work for what conditions. So he just brought people in, got them on a table, and he started out maybe at 10 hertz. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm assuming that's probably what he did. 10 hertz, 20 hertz. And he just brought people in, put them on the table, and found out what worked best for them in those conditions. And then the research just expanded out from there. And it's been duplicated all around the world. Europe is always more open to this kind of stuff than we are over here. They found that for Parkinson's, the frequencies of 30 hertz and 40 hertz have been shown to be the ones that are key for the Parkinson's. I also have a CD for dystonia, and I do not know what the frequency range of that is. I forgot to find out. Got a little too excited about being here, and I didn't get that, but it works. Okay, this is where I'm going to explain music and vibroacoustic therapy. What Shirley is experiencing over here without the headphones, if she just got on the table and did this program, this would be vibroacoustic therapy, because we're not using music. We're just using frequencies, the 30 and 40 hertz that we know are beneficial for Parkinson's, and we're playing that into her body. So there's this other thing called vibroacoustic music therapy. And what that is, it's vibroacoustic therapy, but you add music to it. So now you're going to get the benefits of vibroacoustic therapy and the music, because we all know that music takes us to altered states, relaxes us. It can make you feel good when you didn't start out feeling good. So the music enhances the vibroacoustic experience. And if they write a particular program called a VAM, a VAM, vibroacoustic music therapy, it'll have music incorporating low frequencies. And some of those things can be like taking a trip. It's really awesome. You get on there and you go off somewhere. So what I do when I'm using just a VAT, or a VibroAcoustic Therapy, like we're doing now. I add proprietary, it's like music, it sounds like water, waterfalls, rain. But what it does is it has components in it that entrain your brain or take your brainwave frequencies down to the alpha, theta, and the delta ranges. Those are all ranges you go through every night when you sleep. So if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep at night, you're not getting all the frequencies that you need. So one of the great things about this is you get on the table, put the headphones on, they're giving you the frequencies that you may not have gotten enough of because you didn't sleep long enough or you didn't sleep well enough. And what it does is it enhances the experience that you're going to have on the table. So adding it to it makes it even more powerful session. So is there anything else I need to do? No. Okay, so just take a minute and just maybe put yourself on that table and visualize the process in your head. Maybe this is you, and it could be, doesn't even have to be Parkinson's related, okay? This could be, say, a mother with 5 children, and she's just about had it, right? She went to the store, half of them were crying, half of them were sleeping, and somewhere in between they were throwing things off the shelves, okay? You can get pretty stressed out. For Parkinson's, just think of this slide here as maybe your normal day, some form of this. This is what I like to think is happening when we get on the table, on a vibroacoustic sound table or chair. We're bringing in smooth frequencies. We're bringing in healthy frequencies. And we're adding to that the brain entrainment frequencies that take you down to those very strong, very powerful brainwave frequencies, alpha, theta, and delta, where all the healing, all the good things happen for us. And this is what you get afterward. So just imagine going from here to here to here. See how smooth that is? That's where we all want to be. And the great thing about this is, my personal opinion is every cell in our bodies wants to be healthy. I really believe that. But it's through our thinking, through environmental factors, maybe genes, where they get forced into a situation that's unhealthy. But they want to come back. This is where they actually, can you go back to that slide, please? Thank you. This is where every cell in your body wants to be, right here. Smooth, doing its job. But for some reason, it ended up over here. It wants to come back, but it's kind of stuck here. So what we do is we take the healthy frequencies, put them back into the body, and then these cells that are over here, now it's easier for them to get back here because you're putting in a frequency that they would normally be at anyway. And this is really great for conditions where, I don't know if you know about New Age speech and things like that, where they used to say, okay, if you're sick, just use I am statements. Man, I did that for years, and it wasn't necessarily about, you know, any kind of disease that we normally think about. Yeah, but you could be saying, you know, maybe you're just not feeling well. Okay, all right, I'm just going to say, I am healthy, I am healthy. Well, your body isn't healthy, right? So if you just start saying, I am healthy, it's almost like disrespecting yourself because you're not healthy. I think it's really important to acknowledge where you are right now. Okay, you know what? Because I went around for years. I am healthy, I am this, I am that, and I wasn't. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. Where? Where was I wealthy? But I kept saying it, and then I realized at some point that I had a conflict between my subconscious mind, if you want to think about it that way, and my conscious mind. My conscious mind is saying, we're going to say this. We're going to be wealthy, we're going to be healthy. And my subconscious mind is saying, you don't care about me because I'm sick and I don't have any money. But you keep saying that. So I had to bridge the gap between the two. And one of the things that this therapy does for you, let's say you're not well. You're stuck in that old pattern. In your mind, you're thinking, I want to be well. I want to be healthy. So you're saying that to yourself, but the physical part of you is going, no, I'm not. I'm not. And it's holding you there. So what we do is we bring in the healthy frequencies. They entrain those cells that are unhealthy back to a more healthy state. And then the conflict goes away because your cells, your body, your components have become more healthy. They've moved toward health. So instead of, in other words, there's no objection anymore to moving forward into health because you're helping yourself at a physical level. We got to get unstuck. This is just my thing. This is how I look at life in general. So what we're going to do, Cindy and I, Frank, and hopefully all of you, if you want to participate, we're going to offer sessions because I want you guys, does it work? You're not going to know it works until you do it. We can do study. I spent hours, my wife spent hours scouring the internet, on many occasions, looking for research on this stuff. But in the end, to me, the research can say whatever it says, but we're all unique. We're all unique. So in order to know whether this works, you have to try it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let we'll set a day, and Cindy is going to coordinate that. We'll do it at the Parkinson Center, and you guys can just call Cindy and set your time and appointment and come and have a free session. Okay, we'll do a 25-minute session, and the only thing that we're going to ask is that you provide us feedback, and we'll have a short little form to fill out, and how to see how it works for you. And I have 2 tables, so if you have friends, you can arrange to have 2 people come at the same time. We'll set up 2 tables, and will that work for you?
And I was just going to say that I think Mary and I had talked about the week of the 22nd and the 26th. So right now we don't know for sure which date of that week, but 22nd through the 26th.
Okay, 22nd through the 26th. We're going to be doing this. We'll pick a day. They're going to pick a day in there. So I think
you will send out the announcement.
Okay, and then just call Cindy, and we're totally open. So you can set that up to whatever your needs are, and it needs to be 25 minutes because they found that a minimum you really want to do for these kind of chronic conditions a minimum of 23 minutes. I don't know how they came up with 23. Why wouldn't you just round it off to 25 or 30? I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to round it off. We'll say 25. And again, I have 2 tables, so we can have 2 people on at the same time. And that's, to me, is very exciting. I hope that that's exciting to you too. So that's, what are we doing now? Oh yeah, commercial time. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, harmonic wellness therapy. Oh, okay. We're located in the Spokane Valley, and we're going to have a new office we're going to move into. We've been doing it out of the house, to get started, but we have 2 cats and 2 dogs, and it's not easy to get to our house. So we're going to be in a place, at least temporarily, over on Milan in the valley. And these are just some of the things that we're going to be offering. We can, you can have sessions with us. You can, if you want the equipment, we can provide that. And we have senior discounts, and seniors automatically 30% off, that type of thing. And So anyway, that's just knowledge for the future. And I think that's it, huh?
I think you need to check in with your volunteer, Deb.
Well, she looks like my mom. My mom is 78, and she doesn't have Parkinson's. She has rheumatoid arthritis. Can't get her off when she gets on there. I mean, yeah, it's a great way. I had her on there as a show example, and she stayed on there for, I don't know, a couple hours because nobody else wanted to get on it. So, how you doing, Shirley? Okay. Shirley's doing really good. So we're going to go ahead and let that run.
While we do the Q&A?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, that was very interesting. I hadn't really heard about it either, so it's good to learn new things. And like you say, we are all individuals, so this may work for some,
Right.
may not work for others. It's just like any therapy that we do, right? So thank you for introducing that to us. But I would like to open it up now to Q&A out to the various sites, and we'll end with the folks here in Spokane as far as any further questions that you might have. So are we ready for Q&A time for the remote sites if they like? Okay, very good. So I'm just going to go down the list. Let's start with our friends in Anchorage, Alaska. Any questions out there? And if you'd also please tell me how many are at your site today. I know it's summertime, so every place is a little bit light on the numbers, but let me know what you've got there with you today, please. So any questions, Anchorage?
No questions, Anchorage. We have 4 people.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Okay, Clarkston, Tri-State Memorial.
Hi, we have 17 attending today.
Wow.
Don't have any questions. We had a question whether a rock concert would work as well.
That would be music therapy of a different sort. If you're tuned into it, yes, it can.
Okay, thank you.
For our outlying areas.
Sure.
Lynn, you had talked about whether, I don't know if you can travel very far, but possibility of some place like Tri-State Memorial or the
Sure.
Lewiston or something that might, so you might mention, I don't know if you
Yeah.
mentioned that might be a sound table setup, but maybe that you're willing to possibly leave the Spokane area and work something out.
Okay, Cindy was saying that we had talked about the possibility of going to remote locations. Yes, I'm open to that, absolutely. So if any of you out there, if you want to pay my way to Alaska, I usually only fly first class, but I could probably make an exception. But yeah, if any of you would like to experience this, I'd be happy to come out and demonstrate it for you.
Very
Yes.
good. Okay, Kootenai Medical Center in Coeur d'Alene. Any questions, and how many, please?
We have 10 today, and we do have one question.
Please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, if you're in a cathedral and someone's playing the organ and you can feel that through your body, is that a similar experience to?
I'm really not hearing you. I need you to speak up a little more.
He's saying what he's saying is if you're in a cathedral and someone's playing the organ and you can feel it through your body, is that a similar thing?
Yes, that absolutely is. Yes. Yes. It's the same thing where if you're in the car and somebody pulls up next to you and they have their bass turned up and you can feel it in your chest. Yes. It is that is vibroacoustic therapy done with an organ. People do it with harps. And so if you can feel it in your body at the cellular level, it's vibroacoustic therapy, in my opinion. So go to the cathedral and listen to those organs. Yes.
Or if you've got a good recording and had it on for 10 minutes, would that?
He's saying if you have a good recording of like an organ, would that work?
It depends. See, what you're going to be dealing with is the volume and the acoustics of the room. So if the only thing you can do again is you'd have to try it. If you could feel it at home the way you feel it on site, then yes, it would work as vibroacoustic therapy.
Okay. Thank you.
What?
They would have to do it on
Oh,
23 minutes?
well, it depends on what you're doing it for. If you guys are doing it for Parkinson's, yes, you want to do it for more than 20 minutes. Most of the research, I guess, is showing that, like I said, they came up with this figure 23 minutes. I don't know exactly how they did that, but longer than 20 minutes, and that would be a good way for you. Thank you very much for that. That's from my wife there, and Frank. Yes. Play it for 20 minutes at home, 25 minutes, and see how it feels.
But the question, I guess, around that is, since they're going to be hearing the sound too, how loud is that for people that don't know what 30 or 40 hertz means?
Well, 30 or 40 hertz isn't the volume. It's the frequency of the music. You can boost the volume, which that's why on a table or a chair that's made to do that, it doesn't take a lot of volume to be able to feel this in your body the way we want to.
But it could have to be fairly loud.
Yeah, in your situation, you're going to have to turn it up. You're going to have to turn it up in that situation, and it may damage your ears, actually. So I'm not sure the quality of the equipment you'd be using, but so my suggestion is just put it in, turn it on as probably as loud as you're comfortable with, and just see if it feels the same. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions from Kootenai?
No.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Colville, Providence, Mount Carmel.
We have two, and the question was about how many sessions a week or how often?
Okay. That's a good question. That's usually an individual thing. A lot of the research says if you really want to benefit from this, it's daily. But then again, I don't know what program they're using. And that's why we're going to do some experimenting here to find out if we do one session, how long does it last? If we do 3 sessions in a row, how long does that last? So, yeah. Yes. See, there's other disease conditions that we've worked with that we've found 3 days in a row is like really, really good, okay? I don't know how that will be with Parkinson's. I don't have experience with Parkinson's. That's another reason why we're offering these sessions, because I need to have personal experience. I mean, I can go to people in my field and say, how does this work for your patients? And they can tell me, but until I experience it, I don't know, really, do I? So I need you to experience it. I need me to experience it, and that's how we're going to find out how many sessions, are ideal for you. It's an individual thing, really. Yeah.
Any other questions?
They will be.
What you
They
would
will
know,
be even.
What's that?
They will be sending out the information of the times when you're going to be running the sessions there shortly.
Yes. Yes, we'll make sure
Thank you.
you're aware of that.
Yeah. And that's
Thank
the
you.
thing. You'll come in and you'll do it for 25 minutes, and that'll give you an idea. Because I do know supposedly, from the research that I've read, you'll know in one session if it's going to work for you at all. You'll know that. And then you can decide, is it worth it to do more or not? That's the key. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Dayton General Hospital. Dayton General? Okay, we can always come back to you. Grangeville, Syringa Hospital. Kennewick General Hospital in the beautiful Tri-Cities.
Yes.
Any questions from Kennewick? Maybe they're all so relaxed they just
That could
fell
be.
asleep.
Well, that could be my lecture
No, I
Yeah,
get that.
okay.
Evergreen Healthcare in Kirkland.
Just one person, no questions.
Thank you for joining us. Samaritan Healthcare in Moses Lake.
Hello. There are 5 of us here, and my question is approximately the cost of this procedure, and does Medicare cover it?
Okay, first of all, unfortunately, there is no insurance coverage for this that I know of.
Okay.
I know. That's the cost is we're trying to work things out so we can keep it affordable. And the session that she's 30-minute session would be $20, and a 60-minute session for seniors, $20, and for a 60-minute session would be about $40, I think is what we're doing. And it may be that for some of you, the answer, if you like it, if it feels good, the answer may be to get your own setup. And I am actually working with some manufacturers right now to get, I mean, if you're going to do just Parkinson's and dystonia, you don't really need this high quality of a setup. You can get one for less money. The transducers are the old style, but they work fine for Parkinson's. But if you want to add music to it, that's when you want to have the higher quality stuff. So prices, we're working on that. I know we want to keep it affordable. I'd rather have a lot of people use this technology than just a few and charge, whatever I had to charge to make a living. So we're working on that. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for you? Okay, let's go to Mid-Valley Hospital in Omak. Okay, how about Othello Community Hospital? Okay. Public Library in Pendleton, Oregon. Any questions, folks?
We have 3 and a dog.
Oh yeah,
we have dog we have mats for dogs too.
Yeah.
The dog's asleep.
You can do animals on these things. We have dog mats.
What's the ballpark figure on the table you have there? Price.
This table, just the table, was about $2,200.
Okay.
And that was on.
What was that?
That was on sale. Now what you have to do is then you add in. You have to have an amplifier, and to get a nice amplifier, about $150, but maybe there's some out there for less. So you would need an amplifier. So you've got to get the table, the amplifier.
So all in for everything that's right there, you're at about $2,800. That includes having a tablet to play it on. So if you've already got a laptop, you only need a boosteroo, which brings the price down. But all in, you're at about $2,800 for that setup just yet. But there are less expensive versions available.
Yeah. And then you've got to purchase the program, which is only like $30, which is really.
No, that's the program.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You get the program.
Well, and for those of you that are close enough, that's why it makes sense to, if you can, to come by and try a session,
yes.
Obviously before you invest. But,
oh yeah, I wouldn't want you to do that. No.
But on the flip side, though, it gives you a chance, and if it's going to work, it's something you want to do.
And the other thing too is you can think of this as a group thing. I mean, it's possible that wherever you guys are at your remote sites, you might be able to get together, get somebody, and just purchase one thing that you can all share. I mean, that's a possibility too. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to come to Lynn, although, I'd like you to. But the reality is we can't all get to Spokane. We can't always get to the Valley, wherever. And if you can get a group, an organization to sponsor it maybe, and just put it together and you guys can all share it. So that's
Are these not used in stress therapy also?
Yes, they are. We're just talking about Parkinson dystonia here today, but I have programs for every single program you run that I have will de-stress you. Okay, but then we have some called Tranquility that it will even go further. But I have programs for liver disease. I have that help and train the liver back to health. I have programs for immune support if you need that, all kinds of things. If you wanted just an idea, you can go to my website and click on the Book It Now button, and that won't book you in, but it'll take you to a page that shows you all the sessions we currently have available. It'll give you an idea of what's out there.
Good idea.
Yeah, and so just take a look. I mean, I've got all kinds of stuff out there. So if you go to my website, harmonicwellnesstherapy.com, click on the Book It Now button, then click again. It takes you to that software, but it starts with the list of all the sessions that you can get, and I'm always adding more, and we can customize. But anyway, it'll give you an idea of what's available. So
Thank you.
I have one more question.
Yes, please.
As you are working with more Parkinson's patients, how do you expect that you're going to collect your data or find out how successful your project's been?
Okay, what I'm going to do is first of all, anybody that's involved in this has to provide me with a doctor's diagnosis that says that you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Or I'm also going to do them for MS. I'm going to do them for fibromyalgia. So at least I have that officially stating that you are that kind of a patient. Okay? Now, is it going to be really scientific? No, it's not.
Well, somewhat. What we're going to do is, what we're going to do is survey. So everyone that participates in the 25-minute mini sessions, we'll ask you to fill out a survey right after, and then we'll also ask you, and we'll send you home with envelopes with self-addressed stamped, to fill it out the second day and the third day and the fourth day, because we want to get some documentation about how long it's lasting. And then we want to do a separate little mini trial, and we like to get at least 10 volunteers to do the full hour session for 3 days in a row. We know it's a lot of time, but we think that the value will come. What we've found recently is people who, and it has not mattered whether it was for fibromyalgia or whether it was someone who was having hip pains, when they did the session 3 days in a row, the residual effect lasted longer. So that's what we want to try. We've had people do one session and they feel good for a couple of days, but we found people that do 3 sessions in a row get a longer benefit, and we'd like to see if that's true with Parkinson's symptoms also.
Yeah, and the reason we want to do that is because you go in, it's like going to many different modalities. You go in once, you feel good for a while, but it starts to creep back, because with this and other things, we're setting a new pattern. We got to go in and break the old pattern down and create this new pattern of health. Okay, you get on the table once and you may feel better, but then you go to work the next day, or you go back into the real world and you're bombarded by negativity and all the things that come at you, and pretty soon you don't even feel like you went at all. So the first day helps to break down that old pattern. The second day reinforces it. By the third day, we're setting the new pattern, and that's why we've chosen 3 days in a row. And that's what we're going to find out. We just need you guys to volunteer and do it.
So
okay?
you'll get a set that shows survey time.
Yeah, we're going to add, well, there'll be a questionnaire. How do you feel? Good point. Thank you, Frank. Questionnaire is going to say, how are you now? You know, we're going to work it out. We'll get that all covered. And then you'll fill that out, and then you'll have your session. And then the next day when you come in for your second session, you'll fill out a very simple form that'll say, how do you feel today?
Wants to come here to Alaska.
Oh, okay. And then the third day, the same thing. So it is somewhat scientific in that we're going to take notes and get feedback. But again, for me, it's really just important to how it feels for you.
Yeah, it will be more qualitative than quantitative because we won't be able to measure the gait and all this. We'll be relying on your feedback and those of your care partners to measure how the visual benefit that you're and physical benefit that you're seeing and feeling.
Are you going to be back in a year to tell us the results?
Well, Cindy, we'll coordinate with Cindy and all the results. We're going to share all the results.
Good.
I won't throw the bad ones away, I promise you. I won't. So we'll share them all because we all need to know.
Thank you for that question. That was very helpful. Any other questions? Okay.
That'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go to Pullman, Pullman Regional Hospital. Go Cougs, by the way.
There are 4 of us here at the moment.
Okay. Any questions, Pullman? Okay. North Valley Hospital in Tonasket.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm here and no questions.
Okay, thank you for joining us. And last but not least, our great friends in Walla Walla, Washington. Providence, St. Mary's Medical Center.
There are 3 of us, and I have a question. The information I got said that there was to be something today on laughter and on funny videos. Can you tell me about that?
I'm laughing. I don't know if that's helping you. That was going to be part of the original program, but because
some people were laughing at my demonstration.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Because of the time that we really wanted to take for this today, we couldn't fit in both. So, Cindy, is that something you're going to reschedule? Okay, that's going to be rescheduled, so we'll make sure that that comes back, okay?
Can you,
and hopefully you'll get a kick out of it.
This is Pullman. Did you hear us before?
Yeah, Pullman, you said you had 4, but I didn't know if you had a question.
The question was, what do you mean by low blood pressure?
Okay.
Oh,
one of the people has low blood pressure, but we don't know if it's too low to use this technique.
Okay. I guess my answer would be that you would want to check with your doctor if you suspect that your blood pressure is low. I mean, there's a certain range that they say is normal. And so if you're below that range, and if you've talked to your doctor in the past about it and they have mentioned the fact that your blood pressure is, on the low side, then you would want to discuss with them whether something that is designed to, because one of the benefits of using this therapy, no matter what program we put on there, is your heart rate slows down. Your blood pressure goes down because you're relaxing. We don't want to relax you to the point where nothing's circulating. That's not good for brains. It's not good for me. Then I have to go to the press and explain, what happened, and it's just, it's a mess. So does that kind of answer your question?
What we'll do is we'll get the answer to that question and get it to Cindy.
That's why I married her, because she has these answers.
And follow up. I have had low blood pressure my whole life, which is good because I come from a family of high blood pressure people, so I'll never have to take medication. But we'll find out exactly what is considered too low of a level in order to be able to use the table.
Yeah. Just keep in mind that the default is always to ask your physician because there's some conditions. Some people, they may have Parkinson's, but they're also experiencing other types of comorbidities. Right. And also, there's certain drugs that can lower your blood pressure already. Mm-hmm. So just, be aware of that and give your doctor a call and talk to him about it. And that should help you out a lot, okay? Okay, and now we're to the Spokane audience here.
Yeah, Frank, we have 17 in Spokane. And have we got any questions here? We do have questions.
I don't know if everybody needs to hear this, but I have been going through cancer treatment this last year, and I have developed lymphedema, which is fluid pulling in my ankles and feet and legs. And I'm just wondering if this would be something that would be helpful for that.
Okay. The question is circulation issues,
yes.
and the fluid is pooling in her legs and feet. Yes, that's one of the other things that this does for no matter what program you select. It helps you increase your, it lowers the blood pressure, but it increases circulation by relaxing
Yeah, see, mine
everything.
is more the fluid from the lymph. The lymph system is compromised, and so the fluid is not.
It's not circulating because that's
yeah.
not doing its job.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if this would be something.
Yes.
Okay. I may
It
come
will.
and try.
It will,
Thank
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions here in Spokane?
For deep brain surgery? If one has had deep brain surgery?
As long as it's not recent, you know, so there's no risk of exaggerating the bleeding or anything like that. But I would want you to talk to the doctor first and get approval for that. But yeah, if the doctor says okay, yes. Because remember, it's very gentle. It's very gentle.
Yeah, but there is a controller that with a deep brain surgery, and if the magnets are a problem, like for a
I'm sorry.
pacemaker.
It has a,
Yeah.
We're talking about that. Yeah.
Ask your doctor.
Ask your doctor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I can talk to him. If he has questions, he can call me, and I can tell him what we have on the table and find out. Well, we want to find out. So whatever I can, if you come up with questions later, you know, you can always contact Cindy or contact me directly. I will get the answer. We'll get the answers because that's what we're here for.
Okay, and Lynn, I just had a question about.
You want your wife back?
Well, I don't think it worked because I'm sure she wanted to be on a beach in Hawaii when she woke up.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, on the question and comment about the organ music, wouldn't any music that one might be listening to have to be in that 30 to 40 hertz range?
In order to be specific to Parkinson's, in order to get the benefits of that 30 to 40 hertz, that signal has to be there.
It's not necessarily the sound level, it's the vibration level from the music. So, you know, when you hear the deep bass, you can hear and feel it. It would have to be what your body is feeling, would have to be in the 30 to 40 hertz range. Yeah. So the sound level could have to be much higher depending on the acoustics, depending on the room, depending on the speakers. But it's like I like to listen to the Benedictine monks chant. It's many years of Jesuit education behind me, and that's, you know, I get that feeling, but I don't have to have it at a high level. So if you can identify in the music that you're playing what the hertz levels are, you can adjust your speakers to that.
Yeah. You will benefit from, I'm going to say, healthy music, because a lot of people call things music that I don't personally think is really music or healthy, but it really depends on what you're tuned into too. Because I know people that are, you know, I went to school, worked with people that were very much into heavy metal. I couldn't listen to it. Because I'm not tuned into it. I'm more tuned into classical type music. But they thrived on it because they were tuned into that. So if it feels good, if it works for you, it can bring you benefits regardless of what the frequency range is. Definitely.
Okay, any other questions here? Okay, I guess we're ready to see how our volunteer did.
Okay.
And while you're waking her up, I just want to thank Lynn and Mary for their time today and for providing this information, and also for the sessions that they're going to be providing. So make sure you take advantage of quick announcements, and then we'll get going. So, how's she doing, guys?
She said she's very relaxed. But it's going to take time for her to process, to experience the new, whatever it's done for her.
Okay.
But we'll let you know.
All right. So a couple things before we go. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
For Mary.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And a couple things. Make sure you mark your calendar for September 27th coming up. That's our signature fundraising event, Shaken But Not Stirred, our Martini Night. And as you know, that's our single largest fundraising event that helps provide all the funding and support that all of us experience day in and day out that the PRC can provide. So we'll thank you in advance for your support there and for joining us, and it should be a great time. And you probably saw this little flyer out there. I don't know, those of you on the remote sites can see this. We also, I don't know if you can put it back up on the, well, we can't, okay. But there's a little flyer, and you'll notice it has like the little barrel of a gun, like the James Bond thing. This is the 50th anniversary of James Bond, so we're going with the James Bond theme this year too, which should make it very fun. So come on, come all, and thank you in advance for your support. Also, on July 9th, Dr. Sammy, he's a movement disorder specialist, will be at the Davenport Hotel at 2:30 p.m. in the Flower Fields room. There is a flyer here locally. Cindy, is that available on the website? Okay, you can call the PRC if you want more information. He's a movement disorder specialist, and he's going to be providing updates on research and Parkinson's disease, and there'll be a Q&A period to follow. Again, that's at Davenport Hotel in Spokane on July 9th at 2:30 p.m., okay? The next telehealth is Monday, August the 12th. The speaker will be Linda Lisney, and she's our leader of one of our caregiver support group here in Spokane, and she's going to discuss the importance of support groups for Parkinson's. So as always, you can call the PRC, go to the website at www.spokaneparkinsons.org, and last but not least, thank you everybody again, and our host and our sponsors, and Northwest Telehealth for today's program, and we wish all of you a wonderful day. Take care.